We close the evening's program with a presentation of the Livonia First Citizen Award, in honor of recognizing a Livonia resident for sustained outstanding contributions that made a difference in the community. The Livonia Observer newspaper and/or the Livonia Chamber of Commerce has coordinated this special award for nearly 5 decades. We have a complete listing of all the recipients in your program, and we actually have a brand new plaque listing all the names that will be enshrined in our office going forward over there by the trophy table. It is time this evening for the latest addition to this amazing group. Diane Montes grew up in Livonia as part of a service-oriented family, which inspired her to turn a personal heartbreak into a passion to protect other families from the horrors of opioids. On June 29, 2006, she discovered her 22-year-old son, Brian, lying in his bedroom after he passed away from a fatal mix of heroin and fentanyl. As she processed the grief of this tragedy, she learned about the wide-ranging drug use among young people in suburban Detroit, and she was alarmed that the issue was hardly discussed. She said that there was an urgent need to wake people up and do something. This led to the formation of the Livonia Save Our Youth Coalition, a nonprofit organization connecting people to substance use education, prevention, and support with the goal of building a healthy community. She built partnerships with schools, churches, medical experts, police, fire, and city officials to develop programming that expanded the conversation about drug use. Grants, donations, and an annual race generates the funding for the coalition's work each year. Since its inception 15 years ago, the Livonia Save Our Youth Coalition resulted in more awareness, resources, and most important to Diane, less stigma in the community when discussing drug use, which collectively helped save lives in Livonia. She also volunteered for years as a church youth minister, and her family leads a golf fundraiser each year for the Diane Montes Foundation, which provides scholarships to support recovery group homes and also to support those in need of treatment. Diane and her Bentley High School sweetheart, Andy, have been married 43 years. They have 2 other children and 7 grandchildren. For her deeply personal commitment to inspire a sustained movement that strives to protect Livonia families from the scourge of addiction, it is our privilege to recognize Diane Montes with the 2022 Livonia First Citizen Award. Please welcome Diane to the stage.
Thank you so much, Dan and the Chamber. When Dan first called me, I had just sent in our chamber dues, and I was afraid something had happened to the check or something. I had no idea this is what he was calling about. June 29th, 2006, the unthinkable happened to my family. I found my 22-year-old son, Brian, dead in his room from an accidental overdose. We initially thought he had overdosed on heroin, but came to find out later that he actually died of a fentanyl overdose. At the time, fentanyl was a new drug, just emerging on the scene. 12 young people in and around Livonia died that summer from fentanyl overdoses. When I reached out to try and get more information and find out why we weren't talking about this in our community, I was met with silence. No one wanted to admit there was a problem. No one wanted to talk about it because they were afraid they'd be blamed. Almost 16 years later, some things have not changed. The CDC recently reported that fentanyl is the leading cause of death for 18 to 35-year-olds. But some things have changed. The Livonia Save Our Youth Coalition has been part of the catalyst for that change, which now brings our wonderful community together to educate and protect families and young people. Livonia Public Schools, Clarenceville Public Schools, Livonia Fire Department, Livonia Police Department, St. Mary Mercy Hospital, Mayor Miller Brosnan, our city council, our faith communities, our wonderful civic organizations, local treatment and counseling centers, and so many others now work hand in hand with us to combat this problem and face this ever-growing epidemic. The Detroit Wayne Mental Health Authority has also been instrumental in providing us with funding and support. In 2006, I may have led the charge, but since then, others have done the work. I would especially like to thank Karen Bonanno, our executive director. Karen. And 4 individuals who have been board members since we began. 2 of them are present here tonight, Mr. Bob Duville, Dr. Mark Menestrina, please stand up. Also, Jerry Quaz and Jason Schwartz, who could not be here with us tonight. We have so many volunteers who have supported us over the years. One of them is also here tonight, Mr. Steve Boyack, who's attended almost all of our runs and been supportive. We could not have done any of this without the help of so many people. I also want to thank the people who come to our table to learn about substance abuse prevention, then share that information with their immediate communities. In 2006, my family started Brian's Foundation as a way to specifically honor our son's memory. We raise money through an annual golf outing to provide educational and treatment scholarships to young people in our community with substance use disorders. I would like to thank my amazing family and friends. Would you all please stand up, too? Stand up. You all worked through your grief and helped us work through ours to help others when we couldn't help Brian. You can help others, too. Educate yourself on our website, www.saveouryouth.org, or come to one of our many events. Participate in our annual fundraiser, Run to Save Our Youth, which takes place this year on June 4th. You don't have to be a runner. You can sponsor. There are many levels of sponsorship, and that information will be coming out March 1st. You could also join us at Brian's Foundation Golf Outing, date and venue to be determined yet. My son asked me, he came along with me tonight and he said, well, what are the perks that go along with this award? You know, maybe like free pass at Handy Dip for the summer? The perk is recognition by our community for something that means so much to us and means so much to so many other families. I have been amazed by the number of people I have met along my journey who have either had a family member die, struggle with addiction. Everybody knows someone who has dealt with this. So I thank the Livonia community for the support that you have given us, and I ask you all to continue to help us move forward and provide help and hope. Finally, but not last, I want to thank our Lord, who gives us the grace to make beauty from ashes. Thank you, everyone.